Welcome to the Natural Hair Education Podcast, where we empower, educate, and embrace our essence through the love of natural hair. I am your host, Corinthian Carruthers II, and thank you for listening. I am a licensed beauty educator, licensed cosmetologist, and natural hair culturist. I am co-owner of Creative Hair School of Cosmetology and the creator of Natural Hair Education, a platform that's designed and dedicated to teaching beauty school students, professional stylists, and natural hair enthusiasts textured hairstyling and natural hair education. On this platform, we will discuss real hair stories, break myths, and grow in self-love. This episode is brought to you by Natural Hair Education's Texture on Texture styling course. This styling course is a virtual educational experience. Learn how to properly detangle hair, learn how to do coils, flat twists, two-strand twists, and an updo style, all on naturally textured hair. In this program, you will receive Ada, which is Natural Hair Education's first texture hair mannequin. And listen, y'all, she is the real deal, okay? So once you get your hands on her, you'll be able to learn the different types of skills and techniques, as well as improve your current skills, increase your service time, along with your confidence, and overall increase your income. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Natural Hair Education Podcast. On today's episode, I have a special guest that goes by Tanisha Davis, aka DaNeighborhood Antidote. She was born and raised in Mount Morris. She's a certified herbalist of 4 years, a certified Kemetic yoga instructor of 10 years, and a Gardner. She specializes in herbal tea blends, tinctures, capsules, sea moss, yoni steam herbal blends, and herbal smoke blends. Herbalism has always been a part of her, she says. It's in her DNA. She chose to tap into herbalism to learn the natural and holistic ways of healing the mind, body, and soul, as her ancestors did with what Mother Nature already provided for us here on earth. She says she knows her divine purpose is to learn, teach, and build with her people on healing ourselves with herbs that are healing for the nation. Enjoy this episode as I speak with Tanisha about what she does with the Neighborhood Antidote. I hope you enjoy. Hi, Tanisha. How are you?
Peace. I'm good.
Welcome to the Natural Hair Education Podcast. I'm so happy to have you back. We had some technicalities last time, so we wasn't able to produce the episode. So we're going to do a retake today. So before we get started, can you let the audience know who you are and what you do?
Yes. My name is Tanisha. I go by the Neighborhood Antidote. I am a certified herbalist. I'm a certified Kemetic yoga instructor. And I am previously, I'm studying to be a doula and a postpartum along with a breastfeeding educator. I am from Mount Morris, Michigan. I've been studying herbs for about 4 years now. Kemetic yoga, I've been doing on and off with that for about 10 years now.
Good. So you mentioned a lot of things, and one of the things you mentioned that's new that I just learned about is becoming a doula. So we'll get into that. I know it's not really a reference to texture hair or things like that, but it's still something that's very interesting and very, I think it's a topic that a lot of us want to learn more about. So before we get into that, just can you talk to us about how you got started into becoming a herbalist?
I would say it started when I moved back from Chicago. I want to say in 2016. I had health issues. I had my gallbladder removed back in 2010, and I just, took it upon myself to educate myself and then, try to heal my body the best way I can naturally. So yeah, the herbalist about, I got certified in 2022, and and it's in my family as well too. My great grandmother, she was a gardener, and then my grandmother, my mother's mother, she used to concoct herbs and stuff like this, and she called it asphyxity. I think that's what it's called. And it's funny, I got an herbal book here, and that's an actual herb that, and I'm like, wow. So it's in me.
Good. So kind of passed down from generation to generation. For those who don't know, can you explain what herbalism is and how it's different from other alternative medicines?
Herbalist is basically a natural form, a natural medicine.
Mhm.
Um, it's herbs growing out here in our garden, in our yard. Dandelion is one because I grew up, we had to kill the dandelion with weed, the weeds kill it. But that's actually a herb. And then like the herbalist is like I said, it's like more of a natural way of healing the body with natural medicine that God gave us out here on the planet.
Right, that's real. That's real. What's some of your favorite herbs to use? And is there any herbs that we can use to help with our skin, our hair, things like that?
So actually I have four actually three herbs and one mineral that I like to talk about. The first herb is mullein. Mullein leaf is good for the respiratory. It's good for cramps. It's good for asthma, bronchitis. Elderberry is good for like the respiratory, cold and flu, allergies. Both of those herbs remove mucus from the body. Cloves is another one. Are good for like bacteria, oral bacterial infections, stuff like that. For the blood sugar, and improve I'm sorry, digest. You know what I'm trying to say. You know,
Digestions, I get it.
um, what else? Oh, and sea moss. Sea moss is a mineral. Sea moss is a mineral that comes from the ocean. You can get it from like Jamaica or St. Lucia. It has 92 minerals that the body is already made of. And it's just a really this overall good supplement to take. And you actually can infuse those herbs, mullein, elderberry, and cloves inside of the sea moss to make, you can eat it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've bought sea moss from you a couple times, I think, and it was really good. I know, like sometimes sea moss it has like that bitter taste, or it smells like a little, I don't know if it's fishy or what, but it has a like a just a scent that I just don't like to take by itself. But when you make yours, you mix like a strawberry. Was it strawberry flavor in it?
Strawberry.
Yep, that was really good. But I've heard this mullein. Is that a plant? It's a plant, right?
Yep. And it has
I,
ingredients in it as well.
it has what?
Flowers, like you can use with that plant, you can use the flowers. The flowers can be concocted into like a ear for like an ear infection. You can put some oil in, and then the leaf part, that's where you can make a tea, a tincture, and you can drink. And yeah,
Oh, okay. So you use the entire flower, the entire plant, the leaves and the stem. Okay.
that's
So what's some of your most popular products that you sell?
sea moss. Sea moss is a very popular item that I have and I sell. What else? Elderberry, my tinctures, my sea moss and bladderwrack capsules. If you don't want to take the gel form, I'm making the capsule form too. Herbal tea blends I make, for a couple of my clients and other people. So yeah, those.
That's cool. So what are some of these items we can use for our hair? And do any of these herbs help with hair growth or maybe like somebody so let me back up for a second. I had a client earlier this year reach out to me and he was really concerned about his scalp. He had been visiting a hairstylist. I was his stylist in the beginning. I started his locks, but as time went forward, he found another stylist and he began to get like I guess eczema and psoriasis mixed together. So it was like a combination of it all over his face, his lips, his neck, his scalp. It was really bad. So I did some little research, just trying to figure out what could have caused that or caused it to flare up. And it was things like castor oil. I know a lot of us love castor oil, but I know that was one thing that I saw that he needs to stay away from. And there was a couple other items or other ingredients that are in a lot of products. So call myself making him like a list of things to stay away from and products to use, as well as food, because I know a lot of food can cause inflammation, and when that inflammation arises, it could flare up a lot of other things. But is there any herbs that could help when it comes to like skin and scalp conditions?
Okay, I'm so glad you said that because my son actually is going through that as well. And what I came up with too, it could be a form of candida as well.
Mm. And that's a
Uh,
yeast, right?
yeast and it comes from the pores and stuff like that. So me, that's now my son. I don't want to say guinea pig, but I have to figure out as well too. So to answer that question, I wouldn't know for that. That cause either is candida or psoriasis of the scalp or eczema. I would say clover. If you mix clove water, put some cloves in water and have a spray bottle and maybe some tea tree oil, spray it as a daily spray. That I believe that would help
And
with
mix
the
it with water. Mix it with water. Yeah, because tea tree is that's antifungal, correct? Yeah. So yeah, tea tree is, I forgot
yeah,
about that one, but that's a good one. I do like that one. Um, so you also talked about chemic yoga,
Kemetic yoga. Yes,
Kemetic yoga. Can you explain that and what that is?
the Kemetic yoga is basically like an ancient Egypt practice of yoga, where it's dealing with control, deep breaths with every movement, along with meditation. And even some of the poses are called our Kemetic names, which is pretty, really, really cool. My favorite sequence in Kemetic yoga is Mayatka. I'm sorry. Um, and then we have the pyramid, we have the Sphinx. These are different poses. We have what else? There's so many of them, but it's really cool.
And how long have you been involved with that?
I got certified. When did I get certified? In 2014 in Chicago. And that right there, that's when I really just fell in love with the whole health, like wellness, like, okay, I'm coming into my femininity. I know who
Yeah.
I am. And yeah, so
So were you living in Chicago when you discovered or ran into that?
yeah, actually, yep. Yeah. I ended up moving to Chicago from Michigan in 2013. And then I was around like a lot of people that was vegetarian and vegan and stuff like that. So like by me living here in Michigan, I didn't grow up hearing those words. So when I used to my tribe, I call it my tribe. They just really enlightened me on a lot of things. And yeah,
So
it was
that was like the initial wake up, right? The awakening, they call it the awakening. That was your initial awakening. So you got into yoga and you became a herbalist.
and then before I bag it up, after I got certified as a Kemetic yoga instructor, I did a workshop for prenatal yoga. So that's into like, okay, let me do my prenatal yoga. And I always wanted to be a doula. I love the reason why I wanted to do that. We'll get into it. I know this about here, but it's like I love children.
Yeah.
And I just want to be able to help another mother.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I find it most well in the most recent years, I think I know three so far, and you are number three that
Okay.
became a doula that are African Americans. And I don't think for a while I didn't think that we was even in that space.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's an amazing thing. So how did you get involved in that?
So the lady that I got certified with through my herbalist, she offered a doula program and it's self-paced, it's online. And I'm like, okay, because I had an opportunity to travel back and forth to Chicago to do a herbal, I mean, not a herbalist, but a doula certification. But my children, the graduation, she just graduated. And so I was like, oh, just wait in divine time. And so,
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, I got a couple more questions for you because I really thought about this. I'm like, I need to know about this herbalist stuff. So I know we talked about a couple herbs earlier, and you named a few that you like to work with. But what is your like your top go to like when something like if you have, oh, you make tinctures.
Yep, tinctures.
So tincture. So maybe that's what it is. But what is that? What is that one particular product or herb that you have that you just have to have with you all the time?
Oh God, that's crazy because I just got back from Philadelphia in Ohio and I carry my herbs. I got and I gotta have my sea moss. I gotta have my elderberry and my cayenne pepper. And the reason why I say cayenne pepper and I haven't mentioned that as my top is because it is a I just keep it on me because I learned that it stops a heart attack like instantly. And I always thinking like, oh, what if I'm in a restaurant and somebody and I'm like, okay, here I come. Like, wait a minute. So yeah.
Yeah, I just recently saw that. I think it was on TikTok or Instagram, but they were saying that cayenne pepper can instantly stop a heart attack. I was like, whoa. You would think, a cayenne pepper, I would think that by it being so hot, it wouldn't be good for the body, but I guess it does.
It helps with circulation. So yeah.
Circulation. That's amazing. So what do you see the future when it comes to herbalism? I know a lot of people are becoming more health conscious, especially with the world that we're living in now and the foods and all the additives that they're adding to the food. A lot of people are just like no. I even saw today on Instagram that this guy said, he said the meat that you're eating is made in the lab. And I'm like, oh my goodness, here we go. So like where do you see being in the health space, where do you see things going when it comes to like the food and just medicine and taking care of the human body?
I think this whole lifestyle, I don't want to say it's a trend because it's a lifestyle. I see it flourishing. I see people getting on board, educating themselves, wanting to just know more because it's crazy out here. Like even me, like I love to garden. I didn't garden this spring and summer, but next year is on. You have to think about it like when it's all about fear, I believe. Like when they was like, oh, the grocery store is this, that, and the third, get your food now. Like for real. More people get on board of like growing their own foods and wanting to live a natural, holistic, because holistic is not just about eating. Holistic is about the mental, the spiritual, the physical, all of that. Like, but once they get on board, it's gonna be like, okay, the grocery store some closed down. I grow my own food in the backyard. And save your seeds. Ain't good.
Yeah. That's interesting you said that. I really wish I could have started a garden. I did do a garden a couple years ago and it came out great, except for those groundhogs. I had a couple groundhogs eat up all my spinach and kale. But for the most part, everything else grew beautifully and I ate some of it. I kind of was, because it was my first year gardening, I kind of was like reluctant. I don't know why. I'm like, it was outside in the ground, had spiders crawling all over it. I was like, I don't know. But I think a lot more people are gonna be turning towards that way just because of what's what they're putting in our food and all those things. So what kind of advice would you give someone that's looking to just make some changes, some basic changes in their lifestyle? Like where can they start and what could they do?
I suggest everybody buy a juicer and a smoothie maker, blender. Yes, that's the start. And then take your time. You know, ain't nobody perfect. I'm not perfect. A lot of people ask me like, "What are you?" I just like to eat healthy. Yes, I do backslide sometimes. Eat pepperoni. Hey, we human, but take your time. And definitely get that juicer, the blender, and just start with, juicing your fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. And read, 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 read. I love books. Like I sleep with books, all that stuff. Like everywhere I go. We have to get back to educating ourselves. Just because I see it with my generation and generations before and a little and definitely after. We don't read. We don't read.
No.
We look at it like, okay, we graduated, we got exhausted from all them years we was in elementary, middle school, high school. Once we graduate, some people go to college and continue, But a lot of us just be like, okay, I don't want to read. Like, no, what? Come on, no. How you gonna learn?
Yeah, you're right. I could say a whole lot about that right now. I think I saw recently that the average reading level of the Americans is eighth grade reading level. The average reading level is eighth grade in America. So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
So what do you have coming up next? Like what's the next thing for you? What are you excited about right now?
my doula certification. That and I don't know. I feel good about this year, this ending of the year. And actually, I don't really consider like the year today. I don't keep up with all that, but whatever. But yeah, whatever God got for me, I just feel I know it's good because I feel like whatever intent you put into whatever you know, that's what you're gonna get back. And I always
Absolutely.
good.
Yeah.
Try to
I
yeah.
believe that as well. I want to go back to something. You mentioned something about juicing. They can start by buying a blender or a juicer. And I agree. Just this week, I think I juiced like 4 times. I try to juice like in the morning and before I go to bed at night. I want to like drink a juice. I've been trying to limit my consumption of food. I know that sounds crazy, but kind of just eating one meal a day and then eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. I've been really trying to do that. I'm not going to say I'm going to ever give up meat because, because every now and then I will have me some chicken or I will have something that I enjoy. I don't overdo it. And I've been trying to really pay attention to the food industry and like my health since the beginning of this year. And just really, really like taking baby steps, like you said, taking baby steps and not just jumping in there and being overwhelmed and exhausted and just giving up, but just, you know, a little at a time, small changes. So this morning I had a client, I was training at the gym this morning and I had a new client today. And so I was talking to her and I was telling her, like every time you show up in the morning and you're working out, it's like putting money in the bank. Those are just deposits that you're putting in for your health. Because one day you may need to pull from that. And so I look at that the same way as food, like with the food industry right now, like really paying attention to what I'm eating. Yes, I'm not gonna be perfect. We got Thanksgiving coming up, and listen, I'm gonna eat. But right afterwards, I am gonna detox. I'm gonna cleanse and get back to work. But one thing I do not do, and I want to start doing, is incorporating those herbs that you talked about,
Okay.
especially the mullein. That's why I asked about mullein because I know that that's supposed to be good for women when they start their premenopause. Premenopausal. I heard that was really good. And so, because you and I both are in our 40s now, but you don't look like it at all, okay? And I just want to just be like way more health conscious the older I get. You know, I do. I think at this, like when people like, girl, you 40, 41, I'm like, yeah, they're like, you don't look like it. And I think it's because of the work that I have been doing over the past, years. Taking care of our health is so important. But that's it. I just wanted to share that with you. Is there anything else you would want to share with us?
um, no, not well. I can share my information if anybody want to reach out to me.
Yes, let's let them know how they can find you and where we can follow you at and where we can purchase items from.
Yes, well, I don't have a website now, but you can always DM me on Instagram, and you can reach me at Instagram. I gotta read from here because I had to write it down. But it is the neighborhood. I mean, not the neighborhood. The underscore antidote 929. That's on Instagram. Facebook is the neighborhood antidote, and that's it.
It's good. So yeah, I will include those in the show notes, and so we can always reach out to you when we want some herbs or some minerals like that sea moss that I so enjoy. Well, thank you. Before I let you go, is there any hair tips that you have for the audience and the guests?
Right now it's winter time. Keep you a protective style and keep it moisturized and drink plenty of water and coconut water.
Ooh, coconut water. I like that. Thank you, Tanisha. I really appreciate you for being a part of the episode today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's support Tanisha by supporting her business. The more you learn, the more you know, and the more you know, the more you grow. Let's continue to make healthy decisions and be intentional about what we're putting in our mouth, in our bodies, and on our skin, as well as on our hair. Until next time, let's continue to educate, empower, and embrace our essence through the love of natural hair. Again, thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.